I bet you didn't consider this on your last real estate deal. Hey guys, how's it going? It's just an artist checking in again, and today I want to talk about principal paydown and how that relates to the time value of money, should you rent or buy in today's market, and fixed rate debt versus inflation. Principal paydown is the percentage of your mortgage payment that goes towards the remaining balance on a loan each month, and this is how you actually build equity in your home, while the equity is the current value of the home minus what you still have left to pay on the home. Assuming you have an escrow account, the four things that make up your payment are the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Like we talked about in previous videos, the taxes and insurance can vary over time annually, but the dollar amount of the principal and the interest will stay the same throughout the entire life of the loan. But what can change about that is the amount that goes towards the principal and the amount that goes towards the interest. So say you had a mortgage that was $2,500. Initially, maybe about $500 would be going towards principal, $400 would be going towards taxes and insurance, and about $1,600 would actually be going towards the interest, which is a lot up front. But over time, towards the end of that loan, it would flip to where $1,600 would be going towards principal and $500 would be going towards interest. Typically, around 12 to 13 years is the point at which the amount you pay in principal becomes more than the amount you pay in interest. The average person stays in their house 7 years though, so not many people actually reach the point at which they're paying more in principal than they are in interest. So this is what I tell people when they ask me if they should rent or buy in today's market. The first question is always, how long do you plan on staying in the home? Because the longer that is, the more you get to take advantage of that principal pay down, as the amount of principal you pay every month becomes larger and larger over what you actually pay in interest. The second question I always ask is, what is the cost to rent versus what is the cost to buy? So let's say you can get a house for $2,000 to rent in today's market, and you can probably find that same house with interest rates and prices these days at about $2,500 a month if you purchase it. So even though it's more to purchase the home, I would still recommend you buy it for this reason. So if you're renting for $2,000 a month, 100% of that is lost to rent every month. But if you have a mortgage payment that's $2,500, like we said earlier, $500 of that is going to be going towards the principal, which is still your money just in terms of equity in your home, and you'll get that back whenever you do sell the home later in the future. So essentially, you're still netting the same amount up front, but then over time, as you pay more and more towards principal, that's less and less that you're losing each month to interest. Whereas if you're renting, rents go up every year with appreciation, so that's more and more you're gonna be paying in rent every month, and again, you're losing 100% of that money. So in the long run, it's always better to buy if the numbers are close, in my opinion. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the time value of money. So what is the time value of money? So if I gave you $100 today or $200 at some point in the future, which one would you take? Well, the answer depends, and on this case, it depends on time. And since we talk about real estate on this channel, we're gonna assume that time is 30 years, and we're also gonna assume normal average inflation is about 3% per year. When you do the math, $100 today will be worth $41 30 years in the future if you assume 3% a year in inflation. Or if you wanna think about it in different terms, something that costs you $100 to buy today would then cost you $242 to buy in 30 years. If you don't agree with this, just think of things that you would buy 10 years ago that are much more expensive today. Things that popped into my mind are groceries, movie tickets, funnel cakes at a fair, or just real estate in general. It's a lot more expensive today than it was 10 years ago. In this example, you'll be better off taking the $100 today because $200 30 years in the future is worth $83 in today's money. So why does this matter for real estate? It matters because having long-term fixed rate debt is one of the best hedges against inflation that you can have. So if you take a mortgage out and you pay that off over the next 30 years, the value of the dollars that you're using to pay that mortgage off every year goes down over time. If you have a $2,500 mortgage, that first year you're giving the bank $2,500. But 30 years from now, you're giving the bank $1,025 in equivalent money. Now, you're actually going to be giving them $2,500 still. It's just the long-term equivalent is $1,025. So while this is mostly just a theoretical concept, the time value of money is another powerful wealth building tool, and it's another example of how real estate keeps you on the right side of inflation. So unlike the other ways that real estate makes you money, Principal Paydown doesn't put money in your pocket today, but it puts money in your pocket later down the road. But when coupled with cash flow, appreciation, and tax savings, this is a huge wealth builder, and it's another reason why investing in real estate long term is one of the best things you can do, in my opinion. Hey, thanks again for making it to the end of another video. If you find this content valuable, please like, subscribe, and comment. It really does help out the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.